Hey everybody, today is June the 28th. It's about 12 o'clock, it's a few minutes after 12. I've been up here about 20 minutes, and in the last 2 minutes these freaking bugs have just finally found me up here, and I'm swarmed by bugs. But I'm even in the shade a little bit. But today I'm going to do a video. I know it's been a while since I've really put anything out. Not much at all this past summer, but it's just been slow to me. I've not really been out in the woods much. Got work going on, a few other things, and next weekend got some remodeling going on in the house. So hopefully, maybe tomorrow I might try to get out and get some cameras and start rolling out. Unfortunately, I just I'm up on the hill across the road from my house, and when I crossed the road onto this property, I looked over in the ditch, literally right in front of my house. Saw a deer laying over there, and went and looked. And it spiked, man. He probably a little bit bigger than my thumb. He probably had good 6-inch spikes on him. And, of course, obviously on velvet, he might have bloomed into something a little bit bigger, but he wasn't a very big deer. But right there, one of the bucks off his property, I guess. Later I turned ditch right across the road from my house. I had no idea. But anyway, today this video is literally one that I've had in my mind for probably almost 2 years to do. I don't really know why I didn't do it last year. I kept putting it on. I have it on the forefront to do it last year every time I was going to do a video, and I kept putting it off for some reason. So, well, it worked out pretty good because things were slow this year and it's working out. So, I am going to show you my camera filming equipment. Obviously I film my hunts mostly with my main camera right here. I do have a small action camera. I'm going to show you it first, and then I'm going to show you all the accessories and everything I've got. And then I'm going to put this camera on a little tripod. Then I'll show you my main camera using it, and plus it'll give you a little bit better idea between the footage of these cameras and stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and start off. This is my action camera. This is I think you say a Kaso, A-K-A-S-O. This is in 4K, and this is the E7, what is it? EK7000. Okay, I got this particular one for Christmas this year. My Christmas gift from my oldest son. Gonna spit it out here in a minute. I actually had an action cam like this. It was the same model. Only difference was the one I had didn't have a screen on the back. And this is a newer model of it. The one I had, I bought several years ago. It was the same model. Just I think the only thing different, didn't have a screen on the back. And I had it for several years. And I really don't use a whole lot of action cam footage. Every year I keep saying I'm going to use more and more, and I just really don't. I've got plenty of accessories to do. I've used it a little bit, and I played around with it a little bit. I've got some different things. I can attach it to my bow. I can attach it to, I see a lot of people doing over-the-shoulder things. I've got a head mounting gear. I've looked at a chest strap. I know a lot of people use the chest straps for their, either these or GoPros are a real big one, and I'll get to that here in a minute. I've never owned a GoPro, but we'll talk about them here in a little bit. But the last one I had for a couple of years. We got to the point I could power it on, but it would not power back off. The only way I could power it back off, I actually had to open up the battery compartment and take the battery out of it. That's the only one. And it started doing that right at the beginning of the season last year. I could turn it on, but there was no way to get the power back off except for taking that out. I changed the batteries out. I run it completely down, tried to fix it, put fresh batteries in. Nothing I did helped. So surprised me at Christmas time last year. My son got this, and here's the box that comes in. And like I said, it comes with a ton of accessories. I just looked it up on Amazon a few minutes ago. They've got a cheaper one where you can just get the camera, I think maybe a battery and a remote control, which I got with this one, for like $52. Or you can get the whole kit that I've got. I'm not sure what he paid for it, but right now with all the accessories, you can get this for like, I think it was $69 right now. Like I said, I'm not sure what he paid for it. But if you want just the camera, and it comes with a remote control and an extra battery, I think it's like $52. And they are good cameras. Like I said, I will get some footage of here in a minute, but show you some of the, here's one of the little devices I use. Now this clip, I actually had to order it separately. I ordered it when I got my very first action cam, and it was off Amazon. I don't remember what the name of it was. It was pretty cheap, and it didn't last very long at all. Then I got the other Kaso, and it lasted a pretty good while. It lasted me, sir, for several years, especially no more than I use it. But I had to order this clip. I found it. But some of these other little components on the top come with the old kit. And what I'll do, I'll just screw it in on top here. Let me show you how to do that. But when I'm in my saddle, tether rope is right above my head, right above head height. And I've also got my gear strip up here. So I can take this thing, this clip, and just clip it down on there. And then I can adjust this thing where it's just showing right down on me. And I usually put it on my rope, because that's the way when I swing around from one side of the tree to another. Actually, I clip it on sideways and the camera goes down like this. But the camera's always facing toward me. So at that point, it really don't do me much good to have a screen on the back because I can't see it anyway. But anyway, I'm not going to go into a lot of details about this camera. I will say, I'll get into the GoPros a little bit. Like I said, I've never owned a GoPro. I've almost pulled the trigger on them once or twice. I don't even know how many they got now. I mean, they've got GoPro Heroes, Blacks, Ghost, 10s, 20s. I don't really know anything about them. I do know about 90% of the people that I watch use GoPros have complaints about them for one way or another. And I think the biggest complaint I've seen was just the battery life on them things just seemed to suck. The footage on them is absolutely great, man. I ain't gonna lie. It's some of the best footage I think I've seen on any cameras, you know, big or small, you know, on GoPros. I think the images are just great. But, and the second problem I know a lot of people have was cold weather. They didn't seem to last very long in cold weather either. And I know a lot of people over the last year or so have been going to some different action cameras. I believe it's DJI. I'm pretty sure is how you say that. I meant to look that up. Man, these bugs are terrible. I meant to look that up and forgot about it, but I'm pretty sure it's called DJI. I've seen a lot of people going from GoPros, you know, switching over to them things, and a lot of people really seem to like them. And a matter of fact, Juddy from J&J True Outdoor Adventures, he recently got, I think he's got one or maybe two, and this past winter, we had a pretty good cold spell. He lives probably an hour and a half or so from me, a couple counties over here in West Virginia. He lives probably more in this little southern central part of West Virginia, where I live closer to the southern part. But I can't remember if it was January or February, man, we had a frigid temperature drop. I mean, for probably a week or 10 days, maybe more than that. I think the temperature during the day averaged like 4 or 5 degrees. I mean, it was blue, cold for several days. And he took his outside in that cold weather and recorded for a little while. And I can't remember if he recorded the whole time before the battery died or if it's several hours. Anyway, I know he did a comparison with his GoPro, and he said there was a really big difference. So that kind of got me an idea. Now, we're in the middle of summer right here. Today it's actually, I think, 82 right now. That's about the high for today. It's been in like 95, 96. It's like for the last 10 days here. It's been absolutely miserable. So today you really don't feel too bad. So obviously I couldn't test this thing in cold weather. So the other day when I come home from work, I charged a brand new battery up the day before. I come off from work. I get home around 2:30. So it was 2:30. I put this thing in the freezer. Put a brand new battery in it. Brand new. Take some micro SD chip. Put a brand new chip in it. Nothing on it. Hit record. Put it in the freezer. And I checked the temperature in there, and it was right on 0. And I checked an hour later, and it was still going. I checked it 2 hours later, it was still going. Well, it had quit recording for some reason, so I started had to hit the record button again. But looking on the timer, it was still showing it was timing. I checked it 3 hours in, and the battery was on red. It was almost dead. And I checked it at 3.5 hours, and it was completely dead by then. So it went somewhere between 3 and 3.5 hours. So I'm going to split it down the middle, and I'm going to say this thing lasted in the freezer with a brand new battery in 0 degree weather or temperature. It lasted, I'm going to say about 3 hours and 15 minutes. Because I checked it at 3 hours, it was still recording, and the battery was in the red. So it could have died a couple minutes after the battery. It could have died a couple minutes before I opened up the door again to check it. But it was a 30-minute interval, and it had died in there somewhere in between that point. So, like I said, I've almost pulled the trigger on some GoPros a couple times. Last time was about 2 years ago. I think my other one was starting to glitch. And well, it might have been last year. We was in Best Buy one day, and I actually had it picked up. I don't remember which one it was. Had it in my hand, and I was about halfway to the register, and I'm like, man, I think it was like $350 or something like that. I said, man, I just cannot pull the trigger. Or it might have been $250. I think it was probably like $250. I said, man, I cannot pull the trigger on an action cam for that much money that I just don't use that much. And all the negative things I've heard about them things, I just couldn't do it. So, yeah, these little things right here, like I said, are, if you're on a budget or just want something economy, like I said, you can get one right now for $52. Comes with an extra battery and, a remote control. Yeah, I think it's a pretty good deal because these things are pretty, if you don't use them that often, if it's your main camera, you may want to invest in something a little more. But like I said, this thing is, you see the size of my hand, how it is, man. It's just a great little camera. And another way that I use it is, I bought this several years ago. This is a little mini tripod, plus it's a selfie stick. But I've used this thing up here several times. This will even hold my main camera, which you'll see it in a little bit. It's not that big either. This thing will actually hold my main camera. Plus this head right here swivels. I don't know how much you can see that. But it swivels a little bit because you can angle it to different types. Swirls all completely around. And like I said, it is a selfie stick. I think this is probably about 3 foot out, looks like. And it did, there's a little place right there for it. It did come with a very, very low cheap remote control. And I tried it when I first got it, and I never could get it to work. So, I mean, it was pretty cheaply made anyway, so I don't even know where it's at. I probably threw it away. I don't even know where it's at. But that's something I don't use a whole lot. I use it more for up here, doing little videos. Like I said, sometimes I'll use my micro camera. Sometimes I'll use that one. This thing is very handy, and it does, like I said, it'll hold both cameras, and I can use it as a selfie stick too, so that's pretty good, pretty handy too. Yeah, and I've already showed you my little gadget that slips on my tree. This come with the last camera that I got, the kit. Didn't come with the one I got now. This is the headband. Yeah, you can put over your head or just your head. And it has a waterproof case on it, and it come like this with the last package I got. One thing about this one, if you use this, the audio is not very good. It does sound muffled. Of course, it's completely closed in. So, but that's what I got with this one. Like I said, I don't have a chest strap. I know some people do use them. I have looked at them, but like I said, one again, knowing more that I'd really ever use it, I don't know if I'd ever buy one or not. Right here is the remote for this little camera. And by the way, this thing is Bluetooth also. You can actually download the app, and you can actually turn this thing on and off and do some function with it on your phone, like if you have it sitting on the end of your bow, or if you got it on the ground like in a turkey decoy, which I was going to use it this year, but apparently I used it one time, but never got any footage to show anything. But yeah, I can sit this on the ground in front of my turkey decoy, right beside my turkey decoy. I see a lot of footage like that, and that's really cool. I like to get something like that. But you can sit in your blind and turn on the Bluetooth with this, and you can also do it with your phone. Or like I said, it does come with a remote too. You can play around with this too. And here's something else that I use. It didn't come with it. This is just something I bought down the road. This is a little battery pack, and I've got it camouflaged and self-stripping, and I've got a power cord to it, because when I went to put it down next to my turkey decoy, I actually set it up on this little stick right here and put some sticks and grass around it, some leaves around it. And then the camera, I laid it, because this thing is silver and shiny, so I covered it in stealth stripping camo tape, and I laid it on the ground, and this was just plugged into my camera here, so it wasn't going to lose any battery juice. So that's how I use that on occasion. But this little battery pack here you can charge your phone. I can charge this camera right here with me. I carry this with me in my pack all the time. Matter of fact, here's the little pack. I do not know where we got this at. It didn't come with the camera, but I might have picked it up at Walmart or something. I can't remember. But my main camera and this little camera right here fits perfectly inside this thing, and this stays in my pack the whole time. And this little battery pack stays in there too, so I always have it with me in case I need to charge my phone or my other camera or something like that. And there's one other thing that I have, and this is from my main camera, and I bought this before I bought this camera. My wife actually got me this camera one year for our anniversary at Best Buy. And before I had it though, I had a really, really cheap little camera off Amazon, and it had a hot shoe in it, and it come with a cheaper external mic, and I really didn't care for it. It was really a piece of junk. It didn't really work very well at all, and because you had to have a battery for the mic. Then you still had to turn it on and off on the camera, and even then I didn't think the audio was all that great. And I was always forgetting to turn one of the two off, or not both of them. And the battery was constantly dead in that mic. So, yeah, I didn't really care much for that trail camera anyway. But when I knew I was going to be getting a new camera, either my wife get me one or I was going to get one, I ordered this mic right here. And you've probably seen these. These are, oh gosh, what is the name of this thing? I got the package here and can't even think of it. It says Movo. I thought it was a different kind. Anyway, this is like, goes on a little hot shoe of your main camera stuff. The reason I don't ever use it, here's a picture of it on the instruction book. Here's the package it comes in. But this is an external mic, and it's got that, I think it's the windshield. I can't remember exactly what that's called. But the reason I got that, like I said, because when I got a new camera, I was going to make sure I had some good audio, because I know my audio is not that great, and I'm not that eloquent of a speaker, and I don't talk that loud a lot of times anyway. So that's why I got that. But, and you'll see here in a minute, I'm getting ready to turn this off and get my action cam up here. This one does not have an external mic. It has an internal mic and an internal battery. And I'm getting ready to show you that here in a minute. But before I do, I'm going to show you my tree setup. This is my camera arm. I'm just going to show you real quick right here. I'm going to put it on the tree here in a minute. This is the 4th Arrow. I got this, this is a King Joy fluid head. I got this off Amazon. It didn't come with the camera arm at all. And right here's the base of it. And this thing's a little bit heavy. I'm going to get a little more detail about that because I'm going to put it on the camera. I'm going to put it on the tree, then show you what it looks like. One more thing before I go. I'm going to show you my... Here's all the accessories. Like I said, most of these things I'll never use. And right here's the, pretty cool too. Right here so I know what I'm looking at. You get 2 batteries. Here's a little battery pack. You get 2 batteries with this camera too. The battery it's in right now was from my other camera. It still worked. There was nothing wrong with the battery. It was just the camera itself. So I kept it. So now I've got 3 batteries, and you can either charge the batteries up in this thing, or you can still charge them up while it's still on the camera. Either way. So that's basically my little action cam, and my going into my big camera now. So I'm gonna switch this off, and I'll get my action cam up and show you a little bit of footage on it. I'll show you on my big camera. Hi guys, I'm on my front porch now. You can see I'm connecting. I think I said Bluetooth earlier connects this thing. It's actually Wi-Fi. You turn the Wi-Fi on the camera, and you can turn your Wi-Fi on your phone. Then you can operate from your phone. I'm looking at everything the camera's recording now. Did do this section up on the hill a little while ago. The video didn't turn out like I thought it would, or like I wanted to. Plus I said a few words that probably not very friendly, so I decided to go ahead and retake this part. So I'm on my front porch now. I'm not driving all the way back up on the hill. Come home, mow the grass, the sun popped back out, but my lawnmower's out of gas anyway, so I gotta run and get some gas here in a little bit, and which the sun goes back down, I'll mow it to see me. But anyway guys, here is my main camera. This is a Canon Vixia W10, is what the name of this thing is. And I put the stealth stripping on it. It's mainly black with white lettering. And I'll get to the stealth strip here in a minute. Here's the front of it. It's got a cover on. Now this cover used to have like a little, not really elastic, but like a little piece of thread that hung it down. Well, this thing has an internal mic. That's the reason I can't, it don't have a place for a hot shoe. It don't have a place for an external mic. The internal mic is right there. And this thing constantly would just dangle. Sorry about the road noise. I hate doing videos here in my house. Sometimes I can sit out here for an hour and I'll hear nothing, and the next thing you know, it's like a parade out here. But anyway, this thing used to dangle and hit a lot, and the noise off this would pick up, you couldn't hardly hear anything else. So the internal mic is right there, and it does have an internal battery, which is probably the 2 things I like the least about this camera. I really like it. Yeah, it's not a big major turn off for me, but yeah, I do wish I had a place for the shotgun mic that I have. Give me a little bit of audio. Now I do wish it had another place I could replace the battery. So I got to keep an eye on this one. I need to charge it up the night before. Like I said, I do carry a battery pack with me. So This particular model is waterproof, and the directions are on the box. It says up to 15 feet. It's waterproof up to 15 feet, which I'll never find out about that. I'm not going to try that. But if it does happen to come a little rain or a mist or something, I know a lot of guys got to put the cameras up. I don't worry about this one because if it gets to 15 feet underwater, a little bit of rain ain't going to hurt. And it's also supposedly shockproof up to 5 feet. If you stand up 5 feet and drop this thing, it's supposed to be supposedly shockproof. I'm not testing that theory out on purpose anyway. So, but anyway, it's it. Here's that. Opens up the door on the side. Opens up. And another thing I'm not too crazy about, when you go to record, you got to open this up, and it takes about 3.5 seconds, which sometimes you don't think it's a long time, but when you're dealing with a lot of animals, you can miss a lot in that amount of time. So it takes about 3.5 seconds for that thing to light up where you can start recording. That's another little small downfall that I'm not crazy about. But no big deal breaker. And right here, there's a little box you open up. There's where your SD card is. There's where you plug it up to charge it. You got to plug. It has an internal battery. You got to plug it in right there, and that's all that's it. I've got a 32 gig in here right now. It takes up to a 64, I believe. Maybe 32 might be the biggest one. I can't remember. But this thing also has 32 gigabytes of internal storage also. And I don't know if you noticed or not, this past turkey season I come on one day after turkey hunting. I don't know what happened. This thing has always stayed shut on its own. You can remember what you did. Now if you flip it just a little bit, it comes open on its own. So I've had to hijack one of my wife's hair bands, and which I actually pull my hair back up sometimes if it gets too hot. I had to get one of her hair bands that I keep on here all the time. Because if that thing comes open and I don't realize it will run the battery down. If it comes open enough for that screen to come on. I've had this camera probably, gosh, honestly, I don't know how long now. 5, 6, 7 years, maybe longer than that. She got it for me for anniversary 1 year at Best Buy. I don't know what she paid for it. But right here's the little plate that goes in my tripod. I had it on earlier. And like I said, I've got the other one that goes in my camera on a tree. I'll switch them out. In the summer, this one pretty much stays in here from turkey season through summer. Then I'll switch it out. But anyway, guys, in a nutshell, that's pretty much my camera. Like I said, it ain't very big. Not the top of the line on the market, but for what I do, I don't make a living filming stuff. This is just for YouTube, and every occasion I might film a little something somewhere else for us to keep, memories for us or something. But it's a small handheld, very, very light. I enjoy it very much. Oh yeah, I get to the camera real quick. I almost forgot about that. And you can go back and look at the video if you want. I can't remember. It was, I think, 3 years ago, public land, spring gobbler season. I caught a turkey in right off the roost, had a couple of decoys. It come in. I was backed up against a little tree with some background. I was in the shade. I didn't think I was, it was, I don't know, the sun had been up for about an hour. It was a little sunny. I didn't think he could really see me. I had just reached up and turned my camera off because he hung up. Dropped my arm. As soon as I dropped my arm, he popped out of the open and he started strutting around. So I waited till he was in full strut, so I waited till he turned, rested up and turned my camera back on. And then I had to wait till he strutted again so I could get my arm off my camera down to my shotgun. And I ended up, for some reason, he was strutting around, and all of a sudden he just looked over my way and something spooked him, and I was not moving. I don't know what it was. The only thing I can think of, where I had this lens, this door open because I was watching the viewfinder, it has big white letters and a bunch of writing on the side. I don't know if he saw that, the sun hit it, got a glare on it, or what. I thought it was on the shade enough to where, the sun wasn't going to affect me. I don't know what he saw, but he looked over there and seen something and took off. And I actually took a shot at him when he took off running. I ended up missing him. But I come home that very evening, and I put stealth stripping all over this thing except for the back door where it opened up right here, and right there where the internal mic is. That's the only two places. Well, on top where I do my adjustments, zoom in, zoom out, and obviously on the front here. I did go say this thing is threaded. You can get different lenses to put on here. I've never even looked into that before or not, but like I said, for my channel, no more than what I do, this thing works out great. If I ever do get another one, I might try to find one where I can use my shotgun mic on the next one. Yeah, but like I said, it's no big deal breaker. But as long as this thing's still working, you know, this will probably be the one I use. You know, like I said, I've had it for several years. It's very small, lightweight. It works actually perfect for me. So anyway, guys, plus you get to see a little bit of footage of this on this my little action cam here, so you can compare the two footages. And I will say, the next part of the video, when I put my tree arm on the actual tree, the video ends kind of abruptly. I was telling you how bad the bugs was. I had one to fly in my eye, and when I was trying to get my eye started water, and I had one to fly in my mouth. And it got a little gagged. So the video ended kind of abruptly, so just a little foreshadowing, that's why. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this little video. It's probably a little bit longer than I wanted to make, and I wish the other video would have come out better, because I thought I turned it off at the end and it had footage of me walking over to the tree, putting my camera on, but I'm not using none of that footage. It's just trash. So I had a little bit of bonus footage there, and I thought it would be cool because it showed me walking back about 5 or 6 feet away from where I was at, and you can see the action cam a little bit better. But I definitely try to plan on putting this more use this year, guys. So thanks for watching. Hi guys, here's my camera arm. I decided just to use my camera because I got to change this base out and put it on there. I just didn't feel like falling for it right now. So like I said, this is a 4th Arrow. I've had this thing, I've had it for 5 years, 6 years. I bought this when I decided to get into saddle hunting. I bought my first saddle in 2019, and I ordered this the same summer. I can't remember which one I got first, but I'd seen been watching a lot of saddle hunting videos, and I've seen several people was using this. I think it's called the Talon, Tree Talon. I'm not sure if actually they sell this one on their website anymore. But I'll tell you a little bit about it. And if you ever seen one, I'll try to give you a close up. All these down here have these big holes in them. They all look like this right here. But I put stealth strip on them just because to help dampen the noise. They don't hit each other. They're designed, they stack up pretty nice and neat like that. You can see how well they design, how it's designed where it stacks up. Yeah, but in the tree, moving your bow around, you're doing other things. You know, there's always something getting bumped in. My pack usually hangs off to the side here. You know, so it was a black, it wasn't shiny. I can't remember what all they put on there. Like I said, you can see just a little bit of it there. This piece right here actually had a bit of rubber coating on it. The other two didn't. But I mainly did it just to help camouflage it a little bit, but mainly just to help quiet it down. Like I said, the fluid head is King Joy fluid head. I got this off Amazon. Don't remember how much I paid for it. They do sell fluid heads on their site, and here's the base of it right here. And this knob right here, what you do, you put it on your tree, and these got these 4 hooks right here. They fold up to where this thing's completely flat on the back. And them things are jagged though. But you put it on the tree, tighten up your strap as tight as you can get it. Then you loosen this up right here, and it's got a bubble level right there, so you can get this thing perfectly level. And you just loosen this up right here, and that's what pulls this one. Pulls this up and down. Pulls this up and down right there. And you just tighten that up, and you're ready to go. And like I said, usually when I'm saddle hunting, this is probably I'll set this up in between my waist and my knee height. Usually just off to my left side, about like I am right now. So if I'd be sitting in my saddle right now, this right here would be just below waist level for me. Probably a little bit closer to my waist than to my knees, but about waist level. And like I said, because I'm right-handed, so most of my shots are going to be coming from the left side of my saddle. So yeah, I can take this thing around this way, or when I'm in my saddle, it's so compact that I can maneuver it around here. I can bring it right underneath my bridge and put it in between me. So like I said, I've had this thing for, I'm not sure what the whole length is extended out. I'm not sure, I didn't measure that. I'll give you an idea of it right there. I weighed this thing right before I come up here, and all together the base and the camera arm, and the fluid head weighed 5 pounds 8 ounces. And I weighed these things separately, and the base was probably just, I don't know, 6 or 8 ounces heavier. It feels a lot heavier than this one does, but I guess where a lot of the weight on this one's distributed, and right here is where most of the weight is on this one. And if you notice, I have some people call this a boat buckle, some people call it over the center buckle, OCD buckle. This thing actually comes with a ratchet strap cord on it, and actually that might be, no, that's not one of the original ones. I actually still have it in the package at home. I never even took it out of the package because I've seen, when I was also watching a lot of saddle hunting videos, and I've seen a lot of this one camera popping up. That was one big complaint. People was like, we're trying to be quiet in the woods and use ratchet straps. So a lot of people was getting these cam straps like this. So as soon as I ordered the camera, the same day I ordered this strap, and I think the strap came in before the camera did, so I didn't even use the original strap. And my wife did a little bit of, I think she sewed this part on, make it permanent, I think. And anyway, she did some sewing on from it somehow or another. Anyway, I used this buckle with it instead of the original. But I do have the original